Whatever you want to accomplish in life, you must first see it first and take possession of it from within. That is from your mind. Hello, guys. Welcome to Live with Enki. All I do here is to motivate you to be intentional with how you live your life. Remember, you were born once, or you are born once. You will live once. You will die once. You don't even have a spare life, and you will never be repeated again in history. It means you only have one life to live. So, what are you doing with the now life that you have? So, this is me here motivating you to be intentional and live in the now. Okay, so in this video, I'll be telling you how to use your mind to achieve anything by first seeing that success from within. For example, if you are to be a goal scorer and exceptional footballer, you must first picture yourself in possession of the ball, controlling it, and dribbling your way towards your opponent's defense. You must see yourself approaching their goal, beating the goalkeeper, and scoring your goals. You must see it, dream, and ruminate it before you get on the pitch. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to excel. The same way, if you're a lawyer, you must see yourself addressing the court with the judge, other lawyers, and the entire courtroom spellbound as they watch and listen to you present your case. You must see and hear yourself making such irrefutable arguments before you get into the courtroom. It all starts from the images of your mind. One of the beautiful things you can do for yourself as a Christian is to be always able to build in your mind the right pictures about what you want in life. It pays when you activate your fifth eye to see beyond your present horizon and envision yourself living out the very best of what God has prepared for you in this world. God never created us to suffer or live the average life where we are barely getting by. He created us to excel and flourish in all areas of our lives. However, until you begin to see yourself that way, living in abundance, perfect health, victory, and success, it will be difficult for you to experience it. You must first envision yourself living in that realm, living God's dream. Now, can I shock you further? Your future is history with God. Let's go to Romans chapter 4, verse 17. As it is written, I have made thee a father of many nations. He was talking to Abraham here. Before him, whom he believed, even God who quickened the dead and called those things which be not as though they were. Remember, when God said to Abraham, your name will no longer be Abram, but Abraham, because I've made you a father of many nations. You check Genesis chapter 17, verse 5. At that time, Abraham had no child, and it was naturally impossible for him too, because he was old and his wife was old and barren too. So when God told him, I've made you a father of many nations, he was calling that be not as though they were. He was calling things that be not as though they were. In other words, in the mind of God, Abraham's future was history. God had changed the man's name to Abraham to reflect his new identity and align with the vision for his life. And as far as he was concerned, he was a foregone conclusion. God didn't need to do anything more to make it happen. It was Abraham who needed to discover and align his mind with God's idea and plan for his life. Abraham accepted his new name and began to introduce himself as Abraham, father of many nations. But the lingering question was, where were the children? How was he going to connect with this vision of God for his life and lay hold of that which God has given him? How kind and generous God is. He knew Abraham was having difficulty connecting with this vision, and since he had no one to teach him, God had mercy on him and taught him to put his faith and imaginative power to work. See with the eyes of your mind. The Lord had taught Abraham a powerful principle about the power of his mind, that is imagination. Let's go to Genesis chapter 13, 14 to 15. Lift up now thy eyes and look from the place where thou art, northward, southward, eastward, westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. Watch this very closely and catch what Abraham was teaching. And catch what God was teaching Abraham here. He said to him, from where you are, look northward, southward, eastward, and westward, and all the land that you see from that spot, I will give to you and your seed forever. God was telling Abraham to see, not with the limited sight his physical eyes offered, but with the infinite range of his mind eyes. That's why he told him to stay in one spot and see all the lands from there. This becomes even clearer as we read what God tells him in the next verse. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. This is absolutely remarkable. God had told Abraham to stand in one place and look from there northward, southward, eastward, and westward. And all the land that he could see would be his and his seeds forever. Now he tells him to get up and walk through the length and breadth of all the land he could see. Let's suppose for a moment that Abraham had looked with his physical eyes and seen all the stretch of land his eyes could possibly take in. Now God tells him to walk the length and breadth of all the land. It would have been practically impossible for Abraham to do that. What God was simply saying to Abraham was, his son, see with your mind. And guess what? Abraham saw the whole world and took all of it. He left nothing out. You will see this when you read Romans 4:13. For the promise that he should be the heir, Heir of the world, WORLD, was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. Did you see that? God made Abraham a promise that he would give him everything he saw. Well, Abraham saw the whole world and God fulfilled his end of the beginning and gave it all to him. That is how Abraham inherited the world. But God had shown Abraham how to do it by using the power of his mind. Now, let me help you to help your vision. You have a vision, right? This is how you can achieve your vision very fast. It is very important that you help your vision it become clearer in your mind. It becomes clearer to your mind. Right. Thank you for staying to the end of this video. I trust you've learned one or two. Well, for you to have an easy work in that vision or in that prospect, your mind has to be in line with what you want. You can't be thinking something else and be seeing something else. Let your mind be the same with your thoughts. See you again in my next one. Bye.